Hey guys, so I wanted to talk this morning about experimenting with your canning. When I say experimenting with your canning, I'm not saying experiment with how you can. You always need to follow the book, follow the instructions, but I am saying you need to be experimenting with your recipes. You need to be experimenting with what kind of food you're canning. Back in the beginning when I was first canning for my family, I had a whole bunch of zucchini, I had a whole bunch of cucumbers, and I tried a ton of different recipes because I was having a hard time with soft pickles. I was having a hard time figuring out how to do any kind of canning with zucchini that would be something that we would actually want to eat. And what I found was that we like the sweet pickles only if they are the red hot kind. They actually taste like cinnamon apples. And we do not like canned zucchini. I don't know who is here.
It's Heirloom.
Run and open the gate, quick. They're servicing the porta potty. Don't get run over there, okay? And then, what was the other thing? And we really, really like dilly beans, but we don't like to make our own dill pickles out of cucumbers because they have a tendency to be soft. So, by making a ton of different recipes during those first few years, we found out what we really like and what we really don't. So if up to this point your family has really not liked what you've been canning, you just need to get out a recipe book and start experimenting. Do small batches. And if you do small batches, one experiment on each batch. This canner holds 7 quarts. And so 7 quarts is enough to let you see if you really like it. And the nice thing is if you're on a farm and you have chickens, if they don't like it, don't waste your time storing it. Instead of storing nasty food for 5 years before getting rid of it, if your family doesn't like it the first season, dump it out for the chickens. Don't be wasting your jar space on something that you think is nasty. So there is my tip for the day, is play around with recipes. Always stick to your timing on these kind of things. And usually with your recipes, it's about how much salt is in it, how much sugar is in it, how much acidity it has. It's not about the other ingredients at all. It's about the pH and that kind of thing that is inside your jar. It's not really about the individual ingredients themselves so much. So, things that I don't necessarily like canned, potatoes. I think that they can have a tendency to be a little bit nasty. Paige, don't let Reckless out, please. Make sure the gate is shut so he's not bothering the A1 guy. Not A1. Is it A1?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And it makes me think it's not second time.
Yeah, right? I think it's steak. I really don't like potatoes. We don't like anything except these particular sweet pickles because they honestly just taste like red hot candy. And apples, they're just delicious. I really like to can soup. I like to can applesauce. I love to can apple butter. I like to make jellies, and I like to make jams. I'm trying to think if there's and we really like to do beans. Beans are super, super easy to do in a pressure canner. And then it's really nice because if you have a taco night, you can just dump out your little thing of beans. You didn't have to soak them. They'd already been soaked. They're ready to go. And all it is just how much salt are you adding, how much water are you adding, how many beans, and just know that you really need to be specific on those recipes as far as quantity in the jar. Because if you're pressure canning beans, it's only like 1/3 of a cup or a 1/4 of a cup in 1 pint because they swell as they're cooking. So hopefully that's as exciting to you as it is to me. The Blue Ball Canning recipe book is wonderful, but you can also use other recipes. You can look up old-fashioned recipes and then put in a calculation for if you need to change it so that you can can it. But mostly it's about canning time and whether or not it has enough salt in it, if does it have enough sugar in it, if you're doing a hot pack canning instead of pressure cooking. So, I'm a little long-winded. Thanks for popping in, and we'll talk to you later.